Z Fold 4. Oh no. Hi, welcome back to the TheRaptorWrangler. For about a month now, I've been living with the Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 4, and it has been everything I could possibly want out of a phone. And in this video, I'm going to show you the goods, the few bads, because there really aren't that many. So what is this phone all about actually? As all of you know, or at least should know, this phone folds into a tablet-sized device. Released on August 26th, 2022, and of course there's been 4 versions. The first coming out in 2019, and this one in 2022. This video isn't in any specific order, but to start, this is the main screen. It's the reason why you're buying this phone in the first place, and it's an unbelievable, almost unbezeled display, which is 7.6 inches. The colors are amazing and very bright and sharp. The display is actually made of some kind of ultra-thin glass, which I actually thought was a plastic. The screen itself feels pretty nice. It doesn't feel like normal glass on the cover screen. Like this glass, it doesn't feel like that. It feels smoother, and it's called Corning Gorilla Glass Victus Plus. Don't know how good it actually is, so I'm definitely going to assume this phone is durable enough for most people's accidents. The screen can get up to 120 Hz, but if you want to save battery, there's a 60 Hz option in the settings. Although I've never done that before simply because the 120 Hz is so nice to have. The cover screen is 6.2 inches, although it's very, very tall and skinny. The speakers on this phone are really nice. It definitely doesn't get as loud as my Note 20 Ultra, but more immersive. Go to the settings and enable Dolby Atmos, because it makes the sound quality just that much better. It makes it a little louder, but you should probably want to do that. The design of this phone is pretty nice. I'm a little disappointed that it doesn't look any different than the Fold 3, with the camera module looking exactly the same. But I've never had a Fold 3, so I don't care. Colors are beige, gray-green, phantom black, which is the one I've got here, and burgundy, which is a Samsung exclusive. The other 3 colors have a matching trim, but the beige has a very strange-looking gold color on the side trim. I'm not a fan of it, but some of you might be. I wish they were having a little more fun with the colors of this phone like they are with the Z Flip 4. I do think that if they wanted to make this design a little better, they could have made it look a bit more like the S22 Ultra, with the flashlight being right here, and there not being a camera bump, and it's just inside the phone. Now, one thing that when I show this phone to a lot of people is the crease. They always ask how you can even have it. But you can see the crease right here. It looks really bad. But that's just because it's from the side. When it's just flat on, now the camera kind of gives it away. But when it's on, when you're just looking at it normally, you really can't tell it's there, and you don't care. And I've never cared during the month. This phone does have S Pen support, but it isn't like the traditional Note style, where it is built inside the phone. It is a specific fold S Pen that is more like the size of a Surface Pen. I cannot tell you whether to buy a fold S Pen because I've never used one, but they're like $150, and I don't think many people are going to actually want it just because it's more difficult to handle, especially because you have to have a case for the S Pen that it makes it stick out too much, and it's not that great. And the crease on this phone, it's still there whether or not it's hidden. It's still there, and writing on it might be difficult, so I would say just don't go with the S Pen. If you're an S Pen user like I am, I'm a very heavy S Pen user. I love it. I'd say just go for the S22 Ultra if you really, really want the S Pen, because I wouldn't say it's that great. I can't tell you again, I've never used one. If they were to make this phone next year, it should have a spot for the S Pen. It should. Now, the processor of this phone is the Snapdragon 8 Plus Gen 1, which is actually better than the S22 Ultras with just the 8 Gen 1. And I'm not saying that's bad or anything, but that's just there. With 12 gigabytes of RAM for all models of the phone, there's a 256 and 512 gigabyte, and there's even a 1 terabyte version, which of course being the most expensive. And that brings me on to the price. Yes, all of our favorite part, besides the cameras. This phone is super expensive, going from $1,800 US to just over $2,000. If you buy this phone from Samsung, they do have really good deals there's a trade-in offer, $150 of Samsung credit that you can use from something as simple as a wireless charger to a full-on Galaxy Book 2 Pro, and you will save $300 if you choose not to trade in. So even if you do have a phone that isn't worth $300, you could just choose not to trade in and get $300. My point is that Samsung are bringing so many promotions when you buy this phone from them. Of course, this is the part that everybody has been waiting for, and that is the cameras. I really do like the cameras on this phone. They're amazing. I thought they were going to be not that great just because how are they going to fit everything in this cool full technology? But on the rear cameras, the colors are really bright and give a great dynamic range. It's got a 12 megapixel ultra wide, 50 megapixel wide angle, and a 10 megapixel telephoto camera. In harsher lighting condition, there is some noise in the background, just to put that out there. I will put a link in the description to Danny Winget. I'm sorry if I pronounced it wrong. He did a great review and a camera comparison between the S22 Ultra and the Z Fold 4. With that out of the way, this phone has two selfie cameras. One on the cover screen and another on the under display. The cover screen camera is a 10 megapixel and it's pretty good for a selfie camera. I don't have any issues with it, but there's a lot of graininess to it. Now for the under display camera, that is a 4 megapixel and it produces some really terrible pictures. If you buy this phone, don't use this camera to take selfies. Just use the cover screen camera. This phone is really expensive. But I do think that at this price, you are getting your money's worth. Because there's just nothing else like it. After you open up the 7.6-inch display, it is difficult to go back. It really is difficult. If you are a person who doesn't like big phones, but also likes a tablet to watch content and play games, my content, this phone is perfect. The S22 Ultra is huge all the time and could possibly be annoyingly huge. Again, I think a built-in S Pen would have been a nice touch, but hopefully we will get that in the next Fold 5. Anything negative I have said about this phone is very minor. I think it's just the design is too similar to last year. I don't care. The S Pen, I guess it's okay. There's no S Pen. Lots of people don't use it. I know I do. This is really thin, but it kind of has to be. Those are just minor issues. I don't have anything else to say about it that's that bad. But anyway, if you thought this video was helpful, I'm glad to have helped. If I missed anything, just tell me. I definitely did somewhere. Please mention it in the comments. Oh, by the way, Samsung aren't paying me to say anything in this video. They aren't paying me at all. This was all me, all my opinions about this phone. I really couldn't find anything bad about this phone. I just couldn't. Well, I hope it helped you. Please subscribe. I could use the subscribers. Hope it helped you. Oh.